By looking at Warren Buffett's current share portfolio and investment philosophy, we've considered how the Sage of Omaha is likely to invest this year. Keep watching this video to find out about Warren Buffett, how to invest for 2023. Trade against the grain. Buffett's biggest shareholding coming into 2023 by far is Apple, but over the past year, Apple shares have lost over 28% of their value. If Buffett is such a great investor, why did he not sell a year ago? Is it because he avoids market timing? In fact, he sees short-term price movements as mere noise. He tries to focus on the underlying investment case for any given share. He's done this for decades now. I expect it to stay central to his approach in 2023. In the third quarter, Buffett picked up a large position in Taiwan Semiconductor plus smaller stakes in building materials company Louisiana Pacific LPX negative 0.6% and investment bank Jefferies Financial. All three stocks are down for the year. Buffett, a value investor, likes stocks he can buy for less than their intrinsic value. This is one reason why Buffett often steps up his buying activity when the market is struggling. Weak financial markets push stock prices down temporarily. That can usher in bargain prices on good companies with solid fundamentals. So while Buffett rarely explains why he bought a certain stock, we can surmise a couple things. At third quarter prices, Buffett and his team saw long-term value in Taiwan Semiconductor, Louisiana Pacific, and Jefferies Financial. Buffett is also looking past inflation and interest rate hikes that could create short-term headwinds for the housing and financial industries. Exploit chaotic markets. Take the best of Warren Buffett's portfolio and you're likely to beat the market again and again. Two of his big winners in 2022 include Chevron and Occidental Petroleum, up about 52% and 116% respectively in 2022. That's incredible performance in a year the S&P 500 is down 18%. Buffett is one of the world's richest and most successful investors. As CEO and chairman of conglomerate Berkshire Hathaway, he's amassed a personal net worth topping $100 billion. He's also created billions in wealth for Berkshire Hathaway shareholders. Not surprisingly, the Buffett-led stock portfolio at Berkshire Hathaway gets a lot of attention. Investors, novices, and experts alike treat Buffett stock trades as indirect prophecy. Because if Buffett's buying or selling a stock, there must be a good reason behind it. Just because Buffett doesn't try to time the market doesn't mean he pays no attention to it. After all, a falling share price can allow him to scoop up shares in a company he likes at a more attractive price. Buffett famously said to be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. A couple of years ago, we saw a lot of greed in the market. That's now turning to fear in some sectors, raising the prospect of a stock market crash at some point this year or beyond. I expect Buffett will be keeping an eye out for any situations in 2023 where a great quality company sees its share price marked down to bargain levels due to that fear in the markets. That approach is how he ended up investing in American Express during the 1960s, and it continues to work for him even today. Diversification never gets old. Buffett is famously against the practice of diversification. In his words, diversification is protection against ignorance. He's not wrong there. Diversification limits the downside effect of bad decisions, but it's the other side of that equation where Buffett has an issue. Diversification also limits the upside of good investing decisions. Still, this is an aspect of Buffett's investing strategy you don't want to imitate. Buffett has many times more resources and experience than the average investor, so he's likely to be wrong, but better equipped to manage the consequences. It's also worth noting that Berkshire Hathaway's business holdings go well beyond the stock portfolio. The conglomerate owns more than 70 companies outright, including Duracell, Geico Insurance, and See's Candies. So while the stock portfolio seems concentrated, Berkshire Hathaway's broader business holdings are more diversified. Sticking to the knitting. Will Buffett be investing in space exploration company SpaceX, hydrogen energy firm ITM Power, or e-commerce group THG in 2023? I can't be 100% sure of the answer, but I am highly confident that it's a no. Buffett typically likes to stick to profitable companies with a proven business model. He doesn't always do that, though, as seen in his ownership of shares in Tesla rival BYD. The main reason I expect Buffett won't invest any money in the companies mentioned prior this year is because they operate in areas outside his circle of competence. That makes it hard, if not impossible, for him to assess their investment cases. Buffett has become incredibly rich by investing again and again in a few areas he understands well, such as financial services, insurance, consumer goods, and logistics. I expect him to do the same in 2023. Invest in what you know and act on bargains. If you don't understand a company's business model, then don't invest in it. Buffett himself has historically been light on tech stocks for this reason. As a shareholder, you should grasp how the company makes its money, what its lasting competitive advantages are, and the potential threats to those competitive advantages. Without that insight, it's harder to identify changes in the company's long-term prospects. As a result, you may miss opportunities to increase your position, or worse, you may hold on to a stock longer than you should. Buffett likes a good deal. In his view, a temporarily low stock price gives you a head start on long-term appreciation. This doesn't mean you should buy cheap stocks, however. Look for value instead. You can find value in good companies at efficient prices. Ultimately, should you invest, the value of your investment may rise or fall, and your capital is at risk. Before investing, your individual circumstances should be assessed. So before taking Buffett's advice, consider taking independent financial advice.